Crowlister, the master of poundage. In this video, I will be playing Megaman X, the fan favorite of the series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch in Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I will be playing without Rookie Hunter mode, because the first game in the series is not that hard, especially with experience playing. This was the first game on the SNES, following Mega Man 6 on the NES, and this is by far the most iconic game in the series, like the fan favorite in the whole franchise. I can see why. So we have a boring opening cutscene with info regarding X's specs with his body and whatnot, followed by a message from Dr. Light from the past, because Dr. Light obviously created X before death. So there you go. Basically, X was like a masterpiece that Dr. Light made just before he died. And the Mega Man X series is set around 100 years or so after the events of classic Mega Man. So, without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Memorable music, memorable scene. Here we go. You know what's funny? If you've watched The Day of Sigma, which is a little cartoon from Mega Man Maverick Hunter X that they included in the Legacy Collection, upon first awakening, X was hesitant to shoot from his buster at all, and that messed him up as being assigned as a Maverick Hunter. And then it wasn't until shortly after Sigma became evil that X finally came to sense and decided he had to start fighting. You should check that out if you haven't already, if you have Mega Man X Legacy Collection. One or both of them. The bee bladder approaches you with every hit. Just fire away until it gets close enough. Then it'll destroy the bridge, and you can progress by wall jumping. Then you have another one. Unlike with the NES Mega Man games, if X takes a hit while holding a charge shot, it will not disrupt his charge. Quality of life improvement there. Be extra careful along the collapsing segments of the road and the wasp-like enemies. These guys will jump at you as well here. Got some more of these coming out here. You can't defeat Vile in the opening scene, so just purposely take some hits. In between stages, you're given this password screen where you can write down your password and use it to kind of save your progression. So, there are different ways you can view the stage select screen, like a map of the overworld. There's also specs for each enemy that tells you the dimensions and some of the weapons each one has. So, let's get started, shall we? You are strongly recommended to start off with the Chill Penguin. So, here we go. There's definitely audio lag going on while I'm watching the video playback to record my commentary. So, deal with that. I like audio lag in game long play videos no more than you might. Believe me. The Baldivos will topple over if you shoot them with undercharged shots. Otherwise, hold a fully charged shot and you can get through them quickly. See. The batons also close in on you better than they did in the classic series. Then as you go up here, you're introduced to the light capsules. The first one in the game. And you have a message followed by an upgrade. So, this first inevitable capsule gives you the leg parts, which allow you to dash. You can dash by holding A or by double tapping forward quickly. This allows you to go forward quickly for a brief moment, and you can jump near the end of the dash to go further and faster as well. Just be careful of where you use it, because if you do it in the wrong place, you can lose control and get in trouble. You can also press dash and jump simultaneously to go further and faster while jumping off of walls. There's also ride armors in a few parts throughout the series. Those are useful for going up against the enemies that use ride armors, like you saw earlier. And the Legacy Collection also has an achievement for destroying a ride armor. That was the first achievement I got in this game. I have all 50 of them, by the way. It wasn't that hard to do. Well, I think there's more than 50, actually. Regardless, I do have all of the Hunter medals. Chill Penguin's not that hard. Just pay attention to what kind of attack he's using. The shotgun ice deflects your shots, so you gotta wall jump to get out of their way. You gotta kind of take advantage of wall jumping on this guy. He's invincible while sliding. There you go. They made a remake of this game on the PlayStation Portable called Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, and the stages are the same with what they have, except for the placement of the leg capsules. Like, the leg parts were actually in Flame Mammoth's stage, for example. And the Sigma stages are also different in it. Typically, after I do Chill Penguin in my playthroughs of this game, I do Storm Eagle. I was just being idiotic on the select screen with the map. So, yeah. Rather than going directly for weakness patterns in this game, I go for the most convenient route to get the power-up items. This game is really good music. Gotta be careful while going up these lift platforms. You have to wall jump to climb them. Then quickly dash and jump to the left. And here's the first life up. A heart-shaped capsule that increases your maximum vitality a little. There's one in every stage, some of which are well hidden. I am playing with the graphics enhancement also. I have the smoothing out option turned on. I prefer to play retro games on the Switch with filters on, personally, so. At the top of this tower is where you'll find the sub-tank. As opposed to the consumable energy tanks the classic series had, you keep the sub-tanks for good, and refill them at will by picking up health capsules while your health is full. Then you use them at the moment you want to use them. Gotta wait for these flamethrowers. Leg parts are required to reach this. Then you can shoot these away. This is the capsule to get you the head parts. While you're not going to use it that much, it allows you to destroy certain blocks by jumping into them from underneath. There's an extra life there. In this specific game, the easiest way to destroy metals is to shoot a charge shot, even a moderate charge shot, and immediately turn away, because they come out of their shell helmet after you face away from them. It never fails in this game. These sky claws can also be a bit annoying, so shoot them as soon as you get to them. There is an alternative way to get to the plane if you jump off the edge while dashing to the right and land on the tail fin, and you can get some refill items by doing it that way, if you wish. Then, here's Storm Eagle. Without the leg parts, this guy can be pretty annoying to deal with. There's no telling how many successive dives he'll do in a row if he starts doing the skydive attack. In some cases, he does it consistently. Another technical play tip you might want to know is that buster shots, if they're uncharged, will do double damage if they're shot while you're dashing. At least I definitely saw that happen with certain speedrunners of games like these. And notice how the clouds reverse direction after you destroy the boss. That's to show you that the Death Rogamer is falling and about to crash land onto Earth after you just defeated the boss, since you destroyed it before you met him. I hate houseflies. Notice how the Death Rogamer is not in the picture anymore. Alright, so, we'll do, Flame Mammoth after this. Some of the games in the Mega Man X series have alterations for the stages that turn on after you beat another different stage. If you do Flame Mammoth before Chill Penguin, there will be lava in the stage where the conveyor belts are. And if you beat Chill Penguin first, the lava will be frozen over. Maybe that's why they moved the leg parts to that stage in the PSP remake. Unfortunately failed to climb up those blocks, which is where the light capsule is, so I'm gonna have to re-enter the stage and try again after I deal with the boss. I'm not even gonna stop for the life up or the sub-tank first. There are smashers here that'll go down after you approach them. Be careful. There are lava drips and gabules here. And then enemies that'll block your shots until they throw out their Night Crusher-like weapon after you approach them. Charge shots are definitely required. So, here we go. You can use the Storm Tornado on Flame Mammoth to whittle them down quickly. For optimum result, use the weapon up close. He does have different moves, like shaking the ground after he lands from a jump, which can immobilize you. And he can shoot oil out of his trunk, and if his flamethrower hits it, it'll create a fiery mess. Talking about oil in a game set 100 years into the future, oil's definitely gonna be gone long before then in real life. Mega Man 6 definitely thought ahead by making 5 out of the 8 Robot Masters be solar-powered. Then again, I'm just a nitpicker. Since I messed up the arm part in the stage, I'm gonna have to replay it immediately to get it, along with the life up and the sub-tank. So... you need both the leg parts and the head part to do this. And there you go. You mean charge all types of weapons. The Buster upgrade allows you to charge your Buster up to 1 more degree, creating the Spiral Shot. The Spiral Shot also has a shockwave going backwards that can damage enemies directly behind you, in addition to a more powerful, wide-covering blast forward. It also allows you to charge special weapons and use an alternate effect with them. There is another way to get the arm part besides that light capsule, which you can probably figure out on your own. Especially if you know about the Hunter medals and the Legacy collection. Like I said, if you do this stage before Chill Penguin for whatever reason, there will be lava on the ground here, making it intimidating to get the life up. The lava's not instant death, it just damages you. And because I somehow didn't jump to cross that ledge, which you're required to do, I have to climb all the way back up. That's more like it. There you go. If you've already destroyed the boss in the stage, you can use the escape unit to go back to the hub. This will not work in any stage if you didn't beat the boss yet, so you know. I'm gonna do the Stink Chameleon next. More or less for the light capsule. There are metal-like enemies disguised as clumps of grass. Keep your eyes open for those. The light capsule requires the light parts and is located up here. And then to find it, you have to fight a really repetitive sub-boss battle. It takes quite a while to destroy this. It uses a grab attack if you get close enough, and will jump to the other side if you're far away enough. If I could still use a video editor on my laptop, I'd fast forward through this. Once it's at low health, it'll start to smoke up like this. There we go. After it's destroyed, the capsule appears. And with that, we have the entire first armor completed. The body armor you get basically just reduces the amount of damage you receive. Extremely useful. Wait for these to form up completely before you shoot them, otherwise they're invincible. Tell them. That noise means one of your sub-tanks is completely filled. You can use your sub-tanks at any moment you want by pausing and selecting the sub-tank to fill your health. If your sub-tank is underfilled and you use it, it'll have a lesser effect, so try to get them filled as much as you can. There's an easy extra life here. Then up here we have a scene where we're using the riding armor. It's very easy to take damage in scenes like this with the ride armor. After taking a certain number of hits, the armor will count down to explosion and detonate shortly afterward. So, try to get over the quicksand before you take that many hits. So, here we go. While this boss isn't that tough, he can be tricky at first. You gotta pay special attention to where he lands after using the hiding ability that he has. You can see where he's moving if you look really closely. If he goes into the corner, he'll do one of his hanging moves. And if he approaches you, dash away immediately to dodge the tongue attack, and shoot him quickly before he does it again. that's annoyingly repetitive. Because of the hanging move he does, where he hangs by his tongue and drops spears from the ceiling, he's arguably the hardest boss in the game to beat without taking damage. Especially since he does that move right after you hit him with his weakness, which is the Boomerang Cutter. There's also a Hunter Medal, or an achievement, or a trophy for defeating a boss, with your final blow being the spiral shot with the arm upgrade. I would have gotten that just then. Anyway, next up we're gonna do Spark Mandrill. This is one of the stages that can differ depending on what stages you've already beaten. If you've beaten Storm Eagle, those are parts of the Death Rogamer that you see at the beginning. It's like the plane crashed into the power plant and has caused a indefinite power outage. And as you progress, the scene will black out and then light up again intermittently for most of the stage. If you didn't beat Storm Eagle, the power in the entire power plant will be on, and parts of the floor will send sparks across that can damage you. I'm gonna charge up the Chameleon Sting because it makes you temporarily invincible. Then we can get past the light up enemies easily. There we go. If you pick up a weapon refill while you have no special weapon equipped also, it'll act like the energy balancer and fill the one with the least remaining energy. If you didn't defeat Storm Eagle first, the Thunder Slimer will have a thunder attack while it's up and basically be more dangerous. Since I beat Storm Eagle though, and had the Death Rogamer destroy the power plant, he doesn't have access to the electrical power. So you just have to be careful of the slime blobs which hold you in place, and having him jump onto you like he just did. So I like how those roadster enemies lose control after you shoot them with a moderately charged shot like that. You will need to go with more than just a charged shot for the turn cannons. It is possible to get the life up here without the Boomerang Cutter. Just give a well-aimed dash, wall jump, and you can get it that way. try another one of these again. Didn't charge long enough. There we go. Spark Mandrill's weakness is the shotgun ice. If you wait until he breaks his ice freezing before you shoot the next bullet, you can pretty much immobilize him. Though you can damage him again while he's frozen if you want to have the risk of taking a hit later. There, I just beat him without taking any damage. Next up is Armored Armadillo. These mine platforms, after you jump while you're riding them, you'll kind of move along in their trajectory, so be careful of where you hop off on them. I'm gonna try to profile myself down so that the mole borer comes out, and I can safely jump up the wall and get behind him. Then you can take him out quickly with the fire wave. Here's where a sub-tank is. Right where it was before. Where the mole borer was. Then you can get these health capsules if you have the head upgrade. As you drop down here, there's another mole borer. Take it out quickly with the fire wave, because it'll destroy the tunnel. And if it makes it past this point, you can't jump high enough to get the life up. I shouldn't have tried to jump and shoot the metal wing. What was I thinking? Now I gotta work my way back down to the mine platform, which is not gonna be fun. Alright, let's try again without the part where I was greedy. I was just worried that the metal wings might have interfered with me jumping across. You have to jump off before you make it to the end, or you're gonna get carried away and fall to death. So. Without further ado, here's the armored armadillo boss. Wait for him to land after his rolling attack, and then electric spark him. He will lose his armor. If you're trying to beat him buster only, you have to wait for him to land after the rolling attack before you can inflict damage on him at all. And he also has a counter attack as well. Without the armor, though, you can damage him at any point at all if you land a hit on him. So, there's another no damage. Next up, we have what is easily the hardest boss in this game of the 8 main Mavericks, Launch Octopus. His stage is also a bit demanding. These sub-bosses are quite annoying. They have vacuum pulls that can pull you towards and away from them by force, which is especially dangerous for the other one you have to face later. Then you have these fish robots that suck you in and swallow you, and you have to jump and shoot them from the inside to break loose. That one just narrowly caught me, so I have to wait. You have to fight this again. It pretty much always uses the suction pull first, and if you're not careful around it, you can fall into spikes easily. I tried using the Storm Tornado on it there, and I can most certainly tell you this, the Storm Tornado is definitely not its weakness. Not the way I interpret it, at least. You use that torrent to jump up to this battleship and shoot away at the core, while avoiding the rockets it throws. It takes quite a lot of hits. There we go. A whole layer of spikes was just removed. Additionally, we have this secret passage with one of these guys. Use the Storm Tornado to take it out quickly. The head and the tail only are vulnerable. And after he's dealt with, you get a life up. Another one. Got some more of these annoying guys. Launch Octopus's weakness is the rolling shield, and he's easily the most annoying boss in this game of the 8 main ones. The rolling shield can be deflected with his own weapons easily, and it's really hard to avoid them. If he catches you in the Cyclone attack, he also steals your health, which can also really bum you out there. Getting the body armor upgrade before this boss is strongly recommended. Horming torpedo. Yeah. Nice fail, Capcom. Alright, one more main boss left to go. And that's Boomerang Kuwanger. Here we go. We got some more Morningstar shield enemies here. And dodge blasters, which evade your shot after you shoot them, so you have to aim carefully. Then you got these lasers that shoot at you if you get caught in the surveillance lasers. You can cut through the mega tortoises easily if you use the spiral shot first on them. For the elevator up ahead, I like to charge up the rolling shield to protect myself. I know you can't see it because of the frame rate and stuff. You have to unequip this manually. As you climb up this tower, there are these planks that'll come out with laser blasters on them. Shoot them as they extend. In order to get the life up, you see here, you fully charge a shotgun ice, which creates a sliding penguin platform. Ride it, jump and dash off of it quickly, and go back to get the life up just before you miss. For Boomerang Kuwanger, you want to use the homing torpedo. In addition to being his weakness, it can also hit him while he's warping. Be careful not to get too close to him, because he can grab you and throw you right into the ceiling for damage. So after you've beaten the 8 main bosses, you can go after Sigma. Before that, though, we're going to do some cleanup so that we can have a 100% playthrough. After beating Launch Octopus, water will appear where it didn't before in Sting Chameleon stage, which is the answer to how do you get the life up in it. Leg parts are also required. I shouldn't have broken those blocks first. You kind of need to break this one, because it makes dashing off of it difficult, as you can see. There we go. The water reduces gravity and allows you to make that jump, so you can do it without using, like, the shotgun ice charge or any other pro speedrunner tactic like that. Basically, beating Launch Octopus first is the legit way. There's also the Sub-Tank and Spark and Mandrill stage we gotta get still. This one is down here. And getting this requires you to have the Boomerang Cutter. There. All I have to get now is the life up and Shell Penguin stage. It's back in the winter wasteland with us. It's where the ride armor is. You jump and dismount here, and then to find it, you need to use the fire wave. Alright, I'm going to skip over where I had some unfortunate accidents in Sigma 1. I hate Sigma 1 so much, mainly because of the beginning parts. This is the only stage in the game that I messed up during the recording. You got some mega tortoises here, so you might want to sustain a spiral shot to get through them. And then this is why the stage sucks. You have to jump along these hella platforms with enemies that corner you coming in different parts. The best way to get past this is to charge up the rolling shield. And you have to be extra careful while wall jumping up these. One wrong move, and you die. So... if I were doing a Nuzlocke, this would be the most common stage I'd fail in. Luckily, I hate Nuzlocks, and I'm never going to do them, so... Wow. So Zero couldn't beat Val, huh? Again, it's impossible to defeat Vile during this phase of the battle. This would be true even with the special secret that I intentionally didn't get, because I'm saving that for the very end of the video. So just take a lot of hits until you get critical, and let the intermission happen. Alright, so for Bio, you want to use the homing torpedo. Pretty smooth moving, though couldn't avoid damage. He dies off screen. Sure. Farewell, Zero. Lest we forget your first of, like, 3 total ultimate sacrifices. You died for me, and I'll fulfill your promise. My promise. This part's kind of annoying, so we're gonna use the Chameleon Sting Charge to stay invincible. Let me give it another load. Through here, we have a rematch with Boomerang Kuwanger. Alright, so the first Sigma boss, the boss spider, lies ahead. This combines boss battles with puzzle solving. Pay attention to the bars as the spider descends so you can read where he's going to land, and then quickly shoot him with the shotgun ice. If you're not fast enough, you'll miss your chance to hurt him. He also has an attack where he'll shoot spider hatchlings every so often. I was wrong there. From here on out, the password system to save your progress has no meaning any further. Although it saves your progress in the 8 main stages and what power-ups you've collected to that point, it does not save your progression in the Sigma stages. This part is also intimidating. If you make one wrong move jumping along the platforms, you're finished. And I'm pretty confident once I get past that part of the stage for the rest of the playthrough. We're going to rebattle the Chill Penguin now. Chill Penguin's weakness is the Fire Wave. The only problem is the fire wave has limited range. Still, your ride armor. It's very easy to take damage with it here, though. Make good use of it while you can before you lose it, like I'm about to up ahead. That's the final straw. I have to eject it. And these guys aren't letting me climb the ladder. Here we go. I guess you have to destroy the turn cannon to climb up. Across this gap, we're gonna be fighting the Storm Eagle once again. Here we go. Chameleon Sting is its weakness. Think you're cool repeating that move over and over? Ha! Well, I shouldn't have tried to kill him. We're gonna keep the Chameleon Sting on, though, because it's the weakness of the next main Sigma boss, Rangda Bangda. It has 3 different attacks it can do with its eyes. Each color is basically a different form of aggression, blue being the easiest and red being the hardest. And then the walls close in with the nose going in a figure-8 pattern. It is recommended you destroy both of the eyes before destroying the nose, because if the nose is destroyed first, the columns that lead into the spikes will stay in that position, making the rest of the fight harder. You can damage the nose a little bit without destroying it while you're waiting, of course. The other 5 main Mavericks will be fought in this stage, starting with Armored Armadillo. I really need to get those sub-tanks filled back up. I got one. Next up is Sting Chameleon. His weakness is actually the Boomerang Cutter. Use it while standing still on the ground to hit him. If the Boomerang Cutter misses and it returns to you, it'll actually give you your point back for its weapon ammo. It has some other nifty uses you'll see later in this very stage as well. Next up, we got Spark Mandrill. Again, pushover. This is a hint to which one's next, I'm pretty sure. I already explained how nightmarish it is to fight Launch Octopus, so here's one more tip about him. If you use the Boomerang Cutter and land like 3 different hits on him with it, you can cut off his tentacles. Doing so will limit his movements to jumping and shooting the 3-way rocket, and even then, it's still hard to avoid damage. Right then. We got some tricky surveillance laser dodging here. The turn cannon on the ceiling, and these guys are giving me some problems. You can also use the Boomerang Cutter on Flame Mammoth to cut his trunk off. There's actually an achievement for doing that in Legacy Collection. Doing so will stop him from using the oil spill. So we're going to use the Boomerang Cutter for the 3rd end of Sigma stage boss, the Rex. Aim for the head and shoot the Boomerang Cutter. Be careful not to get caught in between the mechanism parts. It also has a charge bolt it can occasionally do. Be careful not to be on the ground or the walls while it rams into the wall, because it can immobilize you like that. And I had a near miss, as you can see. I need to do some grinding to fill up my sub-tanks right now, and I'll skip that part so we can go straight to the final battle. Alright, so without further ado, we are confronting Sigma himself. Gotta be careful of the worms that come out of the walls on both sides. Let's do this. So he sends his dog, Velgotter, after you first. Use the shotgun ice on him. Remember that the shotgun ice splits and goes backwards after it hits the wall, making it a little easier to hit with. The easiest way to beat Sigma in this phase is to spam wall jumping so that he wall jumps after you. Then quickly descend and aim with the electric spark on him. On the ground, he'll deflect your shots with his sword, and will try to damage you with it up close, so... That was awful. If you do it like this the whole battle, you should be able to take him on pretty easily. Then, more action. Sigma becomes Wolf Sigma, and the battle gets significantly harder. Legitimately, you have to wait for him to use his grabbing attack, jump on it at that very moment, jump off, and hit him with the rolling shield just before it shoots the electric shocks from the top and bottom. If his eyes flash, it means he's going to use an electric attack or a flamethrower that you have to dodge. And essentially, you have to wait before you can land your next hit on him. The rolling shield is its weakness, and even then, it takes a while to whittle him down. You definitely want to have your sub-tanks filled up to max for this battle. It's not easy to wall jump to climb onto the platforms, and the damage that he does with his plasma attacks is brutal. The undersides will then damage you on contact, also. missed that one. No, I missed. Alright, this ends now. Then we have this epilogue here. So, yeah. Then it shows you basically the names of all the enemies in the game. Though the Mega Man X series does branch off of the story from classic Mega Man, the Mega Man X series is a lot darker with its story. Just in case you can't tell by the fact that Zero dies during the game, and Zero is X's best friend. And even though he does get reconstructed by the next game, he has even more tragic downfalls later on in the franchise. I-worm, not M-worm. I get it. So, you know, there are a lot of painful sacrifices in later games in the Mega Man X series as well. As I'm sure a lot of you know by now. then finally we have staff credits. Now stick around, because there's still one more detail I gotta show you in this game, after the credits are done. And no, it's not just this subliminal message from Sigma. So, there's one more light capsule that we have to get in the game still, that I intentionally did not get earlier in the playthrough. So, after you get all 4 of the other light capsules, all of the sub-tanks, and all of the life-ups, go to Armored Armadillo's stage, and make sure you rack up on extra lives. If you need more extra lives, if you ignore the trolley at the start of the stage, there is a classic Mega Man series baton hidden down the line, and it'll always give you an extra life if it drops an item. Grind off of that until you have minimum 4 more spare lives. This is where the stage's checkpoint is. Use the fire wave to take out the mole borer quickly, so you can get through this as quickly as possible. I said, you need all 4 light capsules, all 4 sub-tanks, and all 8 life-ups. If you do, then just go to this part of Armored Armadillo stage. Then, once you make it to the end of the Great Leap at the end of the stage where the boss room is, you go up here, and then you purposely fall to your death. You literally have to lose several stocks in a row in order to get the light capsule to appear here. In some playthroughs, it might take 3 deaths, and in some, it might take 4 deaths. In this one, it took 4. That's why you need to grind for extra lives before you do this. This is so lame. Why do you think I waited to do this? And here it is. Dr. Light's dressed up like Ryu from Street Fighter. I thought he said he didn't like fighting. And your present is the Hadoken. Once you learn this ability, you input down, front, shoot quickly in that order, and you can shoot the Hadoken. This is the most powerful weapon in the game, and will destroy bosses with 1 hit. You can only perform this on the ground, and only while you have full health. So, there is a bit of a downside to this, making it very hard to use. This will also not save with the password function, so if you mess up a playthrough so that you restart with the password, you lose the Hadoken and have to go through that again if you want. Which is why I deem that to be optional for 100%. It is one of the hidden achievements in Mega Man X Legacy Collection, though. The other one associated with Mega Man X1 is simply Defeat Sigma. Alright, so that wraps up my Mega Man X playthrough. I got some more Mega Man long plays and long plays of other games in mind, as well as some art videos and possibly trivia videos, and I'm keeping in touch with updates regarding the Switch successor once we eventually get that as well. So if you're interested in those, follow me. And until my next upload, I am Crolister, Master of Ponage. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys.